for the future is literally a fight for the future, for our freedoms, of our expression, of creating a more just and humane planet.
We were content with allowing programmers to create the world as they saw fit because it didn't matter. What we know now is that it does.
In the founding of Fight for the Future, we thought there's a chance here that these protests can be so big because the internet is so big. And if we can organize people to and build consensus around these issues, the internet's sort of unstoppable. And it turned out to be true.
Fight for the Future knows how to use the internet to not agonize, but to organize.
The thing about SOPA that you have to understand is that the fix was in. They said this isn't going to change. And then we figured out how to put 8 million phone calls through to Congress's switchboard in 72 hours. It was amazing.
I went and lobbied Congress. They are, in some ways, afraid of the power that organizations like Fight for the Future have to just make their phones ring off the hook, to flood their email inboxes.
The FCC had this public comment process. They were actively soliciting feedback from the public on what the net neutrality rules should be. Their comment form was difficult to use, so we built this very, very, very tight version of it where people could submit comments very quickly. These types of solicitations for public comments by agencies like the FCC usually get hundreds or thousands of public comments, and we were able to organize nearly 4 million.
Fight for the Future is really the leading group in creating the Battle for the Net website. This was really important because while we at Public Knowledge were working relationships on Capitol Hill, doing what we do well, the energy around the fight was so critical to keeping the pressure on.
Internet freedom activists flew a 30-foot blimp outside Senator Ron Wyden's town hall meetings in Eastern Oregon today.
I was working on a trade bill way out in the country somewhere, having a town meeting, and y'all were flying a blimp over the town meeting. I was talking to some of your folks that were involved in it, and I said, these guys really understand grassroots government. It still makes me smile.
Fight for the Future really distinguishes itself by its playfulness, its creativity, and by its ability to connect otherwise esoteric technical issues to people's everyday lives.
Fight for the Future really understood from the start that the scope of the TPP was massive.
Power only cedes when forced. Building power to confront big tech power is an essential fight for the future of our democracy, for our livelihoods, for our planet.
We run strategic campaigns, and we have a ruthless focus on what is the strategy to win.
Fight for the Future is willing to try things on a huge scale. We're willing to go big.
And I can honestly say that I have never been part of something that has had as big of an impact on the world as Fight for the Future. We believe that staying small allows us to be nimble and to move at that lightning speed that we need in order to get things done and have the biggest impact that we possibly can.
We've got to make sure that regular people, including activists and artists and LGBTQ leaders, people who are marginalized, have their voices protected.
The reality is, for many, many people in the world, 5 internet giants are the only game in town.
We need to consider the lessons we learned from the modern internet, the things that went wrong. And as we are thinking about the next iteration of the internet, how do we build it from the jump to ensure the potential for those same issues doesn't exist?
Whether you're talking about net neutrality or you're talking about the fight to ban facial recognition, one of the principles that I have always borne witness to with Fight for the Future is that you are an organization that doesn't lean to one side or the other, but leans on the side of the people and on the side of justice. And I think that there's nothing more valuable than that.